So now we will move to unit 20, okay? Let me share the screen with you. Now, the next is identifying the different components of a lesson plan. Stage aim, and that is about the lesson, how we teach a lesson, what we do in a lesson. Now, lesson planning. Lesson planning is a different thing. Stage aims and subsidiary and main aim, that is the part of the lesson when we teach, okay? But here it comes the lesson plan, how to plan a lesson, what are the things we need to keep in mind for that. So here we go, wait a minute. Unit 20. How do we identify the different components of a lesson plan? So first of all, do you think a lesson plan is most like an instruction leaflet, a photograph, a story, a roadmap, a computer program, a series of road signs, a written summary, or something else? What is a lesson plan? So a lesson plan is a set of notes that help us to think through what we are going to teach and how we are going to teach it. What is lesson plan? Lesson plan is some notes are there which makes us to how we are going to teach something, what we are going to teach and how we are going to teach. It also guides us during and after the lesson. We can identify the most important components of a lesson plan by thinking carefully about our learners. The most important thing for the learner, what it would be, that also is in the lesson plan. We mentioned that this is what they need to know out of this lesson. What we want our learners to do and how we want them to do it. What we want them to learn and how they have to learn and how they have to do that thing, okay? So a lesson plan is probably most like a roadmap or series of road signs. So it's almost like a roadmap, like Google Map is there, which guides you how to reach to a different destination, okay? Or road signs, or you are going on a road and you read different signs, turning left, right, a bumpy road is there, narrow road is there, okay? One way is there, so different road signs are there, which guides you how to drive. So likewise, lesson plan guides you how to go through the lesson, what's supposed to be taught there. Something that shows us where we are going and how we are going to get there. Although we may sometimes find during the journey, we have to take a different route. So sometimes when we are going on a journey and a road plan is there, sometimes we have to change it. The same thing we do in the lesson planning. We will talk about it later. Key concept. The main components of a lesson plan show us what the lesson is for, what the teacher and the learners will do during the lesson and how they will do it, the procedure, what they will do and how they will do. That is the procedure. Other components of the plan, for example, the timing of different stages and profile of a group, help us to think about possible problems and remind us of things we need to remember about the learners. Here are some ways a lesson plan helps the teacher. Before the lesson, writing down the aims and procedure for each stage of the lesson help us to make sure that we have planned the clearest and more logical sequence and able to achieve those. Now, before the lesson, what happens? We put up that what we are going to teach stage-wise. You know, during the lesson, because when you see the lesson plan, okay, for teaching this one, what I supposed to do. So you adopt that. the one which we talk about in the unit 19, main and subsidiary aim and then stage aim. This is the lesson I have to teach in this way. Lesson planning will help you about it. They will tell you about the learner's profile. They will tell you the time available. Okay, all these things, it will help you. During the lesson, the plan can also help us to check timing, the amount of time we plan for each stage, and to check that the lesson is following the sequence we decided on, and remind us that what to do next. After the lesson, we can keep the plan as a record for what happened, making any changes necessary to show how the lesson was different from the plan. We can then use the plan and notes to help plan the next lesson. So after the lesson, we got the idea of what we were teaching. Did it go accordingly or not? Was it different than what we planned? And that's what we need in order to arrange and in order to adjust our next lesson when we are going to teach. Let's see on the next page. So here we will see some different kind of questions. When we plan a lesson, we ask ourselves a number of questions. Okay, here you see class profile. What is a class profile? It is must in the lesson planning. Who are we planning the lesson for? Who are they? They are primary student, lower secondary, higher secondary, or O-level, A-level, adults. Who are they? Timetable fit. How is the lesson connected to the last lesson or the next one? Timetable fit tell you that they have done this thing, now they have to go for this. All right, they have already done this. So it is the connection between the previous and the next one. So it tells you clearly that what you are teaching, it is connected before, so they know this thing and they need to go further in this way. Subsidiary main aim. We talk about the main aim in the unit 19. What do we want learners to learn and to able to do by the end of a lesson? Subsidiary aim. What else do learners need to be able to do during the lesson to enable them to achieve the main aim? This is what we discussed in the unit 19. Stage aims. What is the purpose of each stage of the lesson? Personal aims. What aspect of our own teaching do we want to develop or improve? Assumption. Now, why is that? Assumption we didn't discuss before, so pay attention to it. What do we think learners already know or can already do related to the aims? We need to assume that they should know these things, okay, and they need to do this thing. Anticipated problem. Now, when we are going to do this thing, teach this one, what type of difficulties they may feel. What may learners find difficult in the lesson? We need to already anticipate. We need to think about it. What may they not be used to doing? What may they not feel confident about? Possible solutions. What action will we take to deal with the anticipated problems? Now, we anticipated the problems. Now we need to find the actions. How to deal with that? Teachers' aids, materials, and equipment. What should we remember to take to the class in terms of aids, material, and equipment, which will be helpful for us to deliver the lesson? Procedure. What are the tasks and activities for each stage? Timing, the length of it is how much it would be enough for that. One hour, 2 hours, 2 periods, 1 period. Interaction pattern. In which ways will learners work at different stages? For example, individually, in pairs, in groups, as a whole class, how they have to work. Homework. What further work will learners need to do before the next lesson? Homework also need to be mentioned there, that what type of homework need to be given to them. Some lesson plans may not include all these components, but when we are planning lessons, it's always important to ask ourselves these questions. So all the components together gives us good way of checking that we have thought about our learners and about the lesson and anticipate any difficulties it might arise. For example, we might plan a mingle as a way of practicing specific question forms. Mingle activities when they mix up with each other. Okay. Anticipate that student may find a quick way of completing the task without practicing the target language. And work out some extra instruction to remind them what they have to do. Now, for example, mingle activity you do, so they may start talking with each other in Sinhala, not practicing in English. So you have to give instruction about it. Now, anticipated problem comes. Okay, they may talk to each other when I let them to talk and discuss it. They may be talking in Sinhala with each other. So I have to be instructing before that you are not supposed to talk in Sinhala. You have to practice that in English. And I will be moving around and I'll see who is talking in English and practicing it. So this sort of thing can be, already we plan and we anticipate and we find solution for that, how to deal with. Now here you go. You will find here this is the lesson plan components, like we discussed the things which what would be. Here it is, they have put properly, like you see, level and number of learners in the class profile. Class profile is 24 students at intermediate B2 level. That is their level of the language, and number of students is 24, and they are in the intermediate level. Likewise, timetable fit. What's that? We talk about it. Timetable fit is students have already worked on simple description of people. Timetable fit we talk on the previous page, which tells you what they already know and how it is connected. So what you are going to teach in this one, this is about the next one, how it is connected. Now what they have to do, main aim is what? To extend range of vocabulary for describing people, oral fluency practice. Oral fluency practice is the main aim. So already in the timetable fit, students have already worked on simple description of people. Simple description they have worked. Now in this lesson, they have to do describing people with the oral fluency practice they have to do. Subsidiary aim. Now remind yourself, subsidiary aim, they already know that. What is it? Students use appropriate language for basic physical description. Physical description mean what's the complexion, the person's body shape, the way it is, how it looks like, all these other, they know about it, how to talk about the people, how they look like, they are tall, they are short, they are fair, they are tan, what color they are, and what type of body shape, what type of faces they have, all these things they can describe. Anticipated problem, then student may be unwilling to repeat the same task in the last stage of the lesson. So they may not be, once they do something, so students are reluctant to do that again, because usually learners find kind of boring doing the thing. So that kind of thing, you need to find a way how to motivate them and do the same task in a different way. If you do the same way, the task which you have already done, they will be reluctant to do. So you have to find a different pattern of doing that. Okay. Then possible solution. If necessary, suggest the student report description from their original partner rather than repeating their own. And then they have given you timings, procedures, stage aims, aids and material, interaction pattern. You can go through that, and all they have filled it for you. And the next page, you will find the detail of that, what they have put it here, okay? So this is a lesson plan. You see the lesson plan which you do in your school. Is it different than this? And then you can go through that. Plus, then you can do follow-up activity here. And they're asking some parts of this extract from lesson plan are missing. Put notes A to E in the correct places in the plan. This kind of question they may ask you in the paper also. So you need to know in the lesson plan from 1, 2, 3, what are the stages, how it goes. First one is second, third, fourth, likewise, okay? And do the practice task, TKT practice task then. So that's it about the unit 20. All right.